Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. This video is on my Mosin. Some might know it as Mosin Nagant or M9130. A couple markings on this one. This one says it's stamped 1943 right here. And it's got a bunch of numbers on it. What else? PW Arms, Redmond, Washington. M9130, 762 by 54R, Russia, SER, and then the serial number. But I'll back it up here a little bit. Man, that lighting makes it look a lot nicer than in just a normal light. But this is my Mosin, my M9130, and I have always thought, man, it would really be cool to have a scope on this thing and chase some deers with it. But there's no real good way right off the bat to put a scope on it. I've seen some people do it and it's kind of ghetto, you know. You can drill and tap right here or whatever, and then you have a little goofy looking mount, and it's just ghetto. But today I'm replacing the stock on this thing, and yeah, that's going to be our first step into turning it into a deer catching machine instead of just a kind of a range toy plinker. But if you're not familiar, I'll give you just a real close. You can load 4 or 5 of them in there, and you know, I mean, old school battle rifle, right? Used to be able to get these super cheap. Now they go for something like this. You'll see in a shop for $400 or $500. These days, 5 years ago, you could still pick them up for super cheap, $150. Pick this up from Gun Prime. You never know what you're going to find checking out Gun Prime. They're always getting tons of new stuff in, but I have heard of these, but I just happened to come across it. Man, I could have dusted it off, couldn't I? But this, if I can show you guys, is the Archangel upgrade stock for the Mosin. Some of y'all might say, that's not an upgrade, that's a downgrade. Well, in my opinion, it's an upgrade, but I'll take it out of the box here in a second. But you can see, came with a detachable 5-round mag. So you make it a mag fed instead of loading them in from the top. Adjustable cheek riser, adjustable butt plate, and just all around cool. But it came with 2 sheets of paper. One little parts diagram list, and then one sheet front and back that had instructions that pretty much told you, hey, take the bands off, the barrel bands, there's one here and one here, and then take the bolts out, and then take the couple screws out. That's literally pretty much what the instructions said. So I am going to attempt to do this quick. If I run into anything squirrely, I'll let you know. But stock I picked up from Gun Prime. Took it out of the box and show you here quick. I mean, pretty cool. And they also sell, I said the whole, oh, drop the mag out. They also have some sort of rail. Like I said, I wanted to put a scope on it, but give you the quick run around to this stock here. Pretty cool. I mean, some of y'all old school dudes would probably rather keep it original like this. I don't know, I'll probably put that stock somewhere in the back of a closet in case I need it sometime. But I think I'm gonna like it better like this. Anyways, I'm gonna get to it. I got my torque wrench here, and I got my basic hand tools here. And I'm just gonna see if I can figure it out quick. If I run into any problems, I'll let you know and I'll tell you all about it. But the only videos I found of this were some dudes taking like an hour and super boring videos, so I'm not going to bore you like that, but I'll give you the 1-2 minute spiel on how hard and how easy it was, and we'll figure it out. Alright, quick update. Like I said, all I could find was 30-minute super boring videos on how to do this, so I'm just going to show you the highlights. I just got the 2 barrel bands off. Check that out. 1, 2. Using the only 2 tools of this little funny nosed pliers and a big old screwdriver. And you see where those bands were? There was one right here, and there was one up here. once you get those bands off, the top little barrel shroud or whatever you want to call it comes right off. Kind of cool to see the inside there where it's not all scratched up and stuff. But next what I'm going to do is, and I also pulled the bolt out. Get the bolt out of these, make sure it's unloaded of course. Then you actually have to squeeze the trigger to get the bolt out. But got the bolt out too. Next I'm going to try to find the screws of the bolts to get this whole action and everything out of this wood stock. Alright, so taking a quick look at this thing, it appears just like most other bolt actions. There's 2 screws. So I'm going to remove that one on the bottom, and then this one on the top, and then this whole action barrel ought to pop right out of this old wood stock. So I'm going to take those screws back out. I'm going to take those screws out and I'll check back in with you. Alright, now I just pulled those 2 screws out. The one on the bottom, on the underneath, is right there. And it's shorter than the one on top. And not much of it's threaded, probably less than 1/4 inch if you can see there. But now what's going to happen? Whoop! A little magwell and trigger guard just fell off the bottom in my lap there. And then the barrel ought to lift out the top here. I can do it real careful like. There we go. So now we got this old stock and we're going to replace it. Kind of interesting to see the inside of that too. Never had one apart, but take those barrel bands off, take those 2 screws out, and now we pretty much should be ready to drop this thing into this new stock. I'll check back in with you in just a second. I don't think we're going to need this because the new one has a trigger guard and a mag well and takes removable mags. But you might need this, or I don't know, it might be worth something to somebody. Alright, so just pulled that out of the old stock, right? The action and everything. Now, I just literally set this barrel and action down in to this Archangel stock, and it dropped right in there. So far so good. The instructions said if it doesn't exactly fit, you might have to do some sanding or mods to this plastic stuff, but mine, it looks like it's just gonna work. The top, there's a back hex screw that came with it, and the bottom, you're gonna need to put one in there. It came with a shorter screw for the bottom here, and a hex instead of a flathead screwdriver, which is a whole lot better. I'm gonna just put that in by hand quick, or maybe I won't. Let me try the back one here. I have to do some wiggling here a little bit to get it right down in there, but I'm gonna get these 2 bolts in there, then we'll check back in again. Alright, so I got that one in. It was super easy to start and get in there. I don't know why I couldn't hand tighten it. And then that one I got into, same thing, went right in there. This stock literally matched up to this action perfectly, no problems. And I torqued them down. The instructions said 65 foot-pounds. If you don't have one of these little Wheeler fat wrenches, check them out. I got a whole kit. I can't remember how much they are, but I do all my scopes and rings with this. I'll put a link down below if y'all want to check out these Wheeler rings. Now what's left? I will mention the instructions said if it doesn't group well at all, being free floated like it is, the kit came with this little V block. Let me get it to where the camera will focus on this. It came with this little V block, you can see, and the instructions said if it won't group like this free floated, then this V block will actually install right about there and where it's touching the barrel. It said some of them will group well free floated like this and some of them won't. So now what else we got? We got to put the bolt in. Hopefully this works. I hadn't tested it. Now my trigger's dead. I did something wrong. Oh, while I'm sitting here, let me try the mag. That mag is tight in there too. That went in there. Now I just gotta figure out my trigger situation. Be right back. But that's all of it put together right there. Not a bad little deal. Adjust the cheek riser, adjust the shoulder pad. Huh. Cool little rig there now. Let me figure out the trigger. Alright, so learn this lesson from me. I found the trigger pin on the floor here. So, there's a little pin that goes on the pivot of the trigger. So I'm going to take this apart quick, put this pin back in, and then I'll reinstall it here. But when you're taking it apart, there's nothing that's holding this pivot pin in aside from it being put together. So learn that lesson from me. But I'm going to put this pin back in, and we shouldn't have a dead trigger anymore. Alright, I got that little pin back in there. Torque the action bolts down in again. Now let me put the bolt in here, and we'll see if we have a working trigger again. Oh yeah, we are back in business now. So, super easy. The 30-second version of this video. Take the barrel bands off your old one, take the stock off, take the bolt out there, take the bolt out there. Reverse assembly with this stock. Be careful with that pivot pin on the trigger. It's right about there at the base of that trigger. But pretty cool. Next step, we're going to take this out to the range, see if it groups, see if we might have to use that V-block or not. Hopefully not, but if we do, it'll be real quick to put it in there. And then from there, I want to get the rail for this thing so we can put a scope on it. A scoped Mosin, I think, would be absolutely incredible. Then we'll do some group testing and all that. I think those will be a whole lot of fun and be some awesome videos. But make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, picked this thing up from Gun Prime. There's some cool folks over there. But there's the Archangel. What is this called? The AA 9130. 9130 makes sense. But there you go. Super easy. Don't be afraid to do that. If something like this floats your boat, hey, let me know if you have any questions or you're running into any problems. But super easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me know in the comments down below if you disagree with my decision. I know there's probably going to be a whole bunch of people who say, oh, you should have kept that wood stock on there. But hey, it's a Mosin from 1943. We got that new Archangel stock on there. Pretty rad. Stay tuned. Next time you see this, we'll be at the range testing out the groups. Hopefully they're half decent. We'll see. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe. We got tons more fun videos on the way. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty-hoo!
Load it up and get it on as soon as you can.